This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Thursday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, Sirius XM channel 158. It's Gil Alexander. That right there is the disappearing Kelly Bidlett, everybody.
Hey, how we doing? Good morning.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. First day I had to wear a jacket in. It's a little chilly out.
Oh, I was going to say.
Doing the 40s this morning.
Whew. For crying out loud, get the kids out of school.
Winter and summer come at you quick out here sometimes, you know? We do the crash from, it was like in the 70s a week ago.
Yeah,
And
we
then,
still have it pretty good.
Yeah.
I used to say we're living in California all my adult life before this. I used to say we're so Cali soft, it's unbelievable.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, we got so soft out here.
But I also swore to myself like 10 years ago I would never live in snow again. So this is about as bad as I'll ever get.
For sure, as the kids say. On the show today, I'm excited about this. Not only is it Zach and Crack, and by the way, Crack is not here today. Crack will be remote with us for a couple segments a little later on. I have that correct, right?
Yes.
I don't know where he is. He told me, and I can't remember. So we'll find out.
I want to say New York, but maybe I'm making that up.
I don't know.
Probably.
He's traveling.
He's on location, special assignment.
He's on the road. He will be here for the full Thanksgiving hour, though, on Thursday next week.
Did you catch my eagerness in making sure to confirm that a week ago?
Oh, no, he told me in advance. He goes, don't worry, kid, though. I'll be here for a full Thanksgiving.
I don't know if anybody knows how much me and Gil appreciate that kind of help on a Thanksgiving
you have
Thursday.
No idea.
Yeah.
No idea. Chris Foster, Deep Thoughts. Get ready for Christmas Day, my friend. Zach and Crack. So Zach Cohn will join us, talk NBA and more. I love the more part. More part includes Thursday night football tonight between the Bills and the Texans. We'll get into that here momentarily as well. Nick Whalen on the NFL, NBA, and more. Are we sure? Estamos seguros? And then college football with Tim Murray. Tim Murray, Notre Dame fan. I want to ask him, everybody from the Miami perspective, not happy with the rankings. But what about a kid from the Notre Dame perspective? Does he have any guilt? Is he shamed at all about the current rankings? I don't know. I'm guessing not, but I don't know. We'll find out. We'll get his picks as well. And then here's what I'm truly excited about, because this is really by popular demand every year. So we have the Las Vegas Grand Prix, the F1 race here in Las Vegas this week. And those of us who live here, especially those of us who live on the Strip, it's not so fun for us. Mm-hmm. However, every year on the show, Phil Bobbitt comes on, Speedway Steve, and he vomits out a whole bunch of F1 picks, and it goes pretty well. And so we will have him here, a little less than a half hour from now, to give us all of his picks for this. It is a bevy of them. It is like a Greg Peterson-like, just absolute windfall of picks.
And he absolutely destroyed year one. That's all I remember. Year one, he absolutely destroyed him. But like you said, popular demand. We've had to have him baim every time since.
Sure did. Can I ask you, can we do a little sports talk thing here before we get to the game tonight?
Yeah. What you got?
NBA last night. So the Dubs are playing. The Golden State Warriors.
Ultimate punt spot of the season.
Not playing Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy Buckets, Al Horford, Jonathan Kuminga. While we're at it, also not suiting up Chris Mullin, Tim Hardaway, Chris Webber, Rick Barry, Nate Thurmond. You name
Monte
the
Ellis.
Yeah.
David Lee.
Baron Davis. Forgot about the We Believe Warriors. My apologies. Anyway, no Curry, no Draymond, no Kuminga, no Horford, nobody, no Buckets, nobody. If you are, and by the way, the Heat crush the Warriors and they cover in the process. If you're an NBA ticket buyer and you go to this game, I know we're not the first person to ever bring this up, but this one might have been the grossest example of all of them.
It's the biggest argument against resting players and stuff like this.
Let's say you're a father with a young kid in Miami, and he's like, Daddy, can we go see Steph Curry? That was my kid's voice.
Yeah.
Can we go see Steph? I love Steph Curry. He's my favorite player. He's my favorite player ever. My favorite player ever, too. And then you go, and then the kid is just like, where's everybody? He's just crying. Yeah, but what do you say to your kid? What kind of product is this?
Yeah. It's the, as you talk about with the tush push, right, of the part that nobody talks about enough of why you should outlaw it. It's the leading charge of why it's okay to be upset at the NBA for doing this. I mean, Steve Kerr spoke about it after the Magic game. It was like their schedule at the start of the season was ridiculous. I think it was 5 back-to-backs they've played already, where no other teams played more than 2, I think it was. Okay. So specifically, like, they have it even tougher than
What
everybody.
is your theory? Because, again, when I'm 1,000 years old, right? When I was a kid, right? Michael Jordan played 82 games every year. There was never any complaint about this. And by the way, a couple years he didn't play 82. I think he played 80. Well, what's happening here with all the injuries and and the need for load management is the fact the game is faster, the game is more spread out. That's the counter argument, right?
That's what Kurt talked about too. Yeah.
So these young athletes who are the greatest athletes in the world cannot withstand what this game necessitates at this point. That's what we're going with. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying that's
a little bit. I think Zach Lowe brought this up yesterday on his podcast. I found this interesting because it does feel like it's been more than usual with the injuries to start the season.
There was a guy who was Mitch Robinson of the Knicks was load managed game 1.
Mm-hmm. Oh well, yeah, Mitchell Robinson's he's always got issues.
But I'm just saying that's a poster child. But what are we doing?
Well, I mean, the load management versus injury is a different story, right? I mean, like
he wasn't hurt though, was he?
No, but he's always. I mean, I don't know, man. I'd say I don't know with Mitchell Robinson because he's dealing with like 4 different injuries a year. It's seemingly. Zach Lowe brought this up because it feels like there's been a lot more injuries. We talked about some of the calf injuries and everything earlier in the week.
Strained calves. Everybody's got a strained calf.
This year is actually down from the past couple years. And Zach brought up, he cited some scientific study that went into this, but it was a lot of these soft tissue injuries. The uptick in them in the preseason in the first 20 games of the season is a real thing in the NBA, has been the past 4 or 5 seasons now. But like this year's actually a little bit down from what it was a year ago.
I don't know how you solve it, just to wrap it up. I don't know how you solve it. I don't have a solution here. You can't, any suggestion to reduce the number of games, the owners are going to be like, nope, we're not doing that because everybody cares about money more than everything. And then you can't fundamentally change the game. The only thing you could do to not make it spread out is get rid of 3-point line. That's not happening. So it's like, I don't know how this goes. I mean, I just thought about that last night when the entire team was sitting.
Well, hopefully you guys got down on the Heat when I mentioned it yesterday on the show.
There you go.
I think the first one I go to, though, is like you hear specifically about the Warriors' schedule. And we're like, my first reaction is, why do we feel the need to cram all these games in at the beginning of the season when, football's going on and other things to distract your viewers? Like, okay, build up the schedule later in the year.
Okay. Football tonight. Bills, 6-point favorites at the Houston Texans. Thursday night football. Just some numbers. It is a numbers game. Bills defense giving up the second fewest passing yards per game in the NFL this year, but their run defense gives up a staggering 153 yards per game. So all you Woody Marks folks who want to play props maybe are looking towards that. Texans defense is just phenomenal. Rushing defense giving up the third fewest yards per game, average of 87.1. Bills ranked 31st in yards allowed per rush attempt, as I just said, but they're just 31st in the NFL in EPA per rush, allowing 5.4 yards per carry. Second most in the NFL. So back to the Bills for a second. But to the Texans. Rushing defense giving up third fewest yards per game. They rank 21st in points. On offense, they rank 21st in points, tied for 23rd in yards per play, 26th on third down percentage, 18th in sacks allowed, 31st in red zone. So their offense is horrific, but their defense ranks number 1 in points. Allowed NFL best 163 points in yards, number 1 in the NFL in EPA per pass, third down defense, 5th in takeaways, 11th in sack percentage, while ranking 2nd in yards allowed per play. I guess the counter argument to the Titans' defensive prowess is that they've played Cam Ward twice, Trevor Lawrence of the Jags twice, Mac Jones, Cooper Rush, Bo Nix. So haven't quite faced a Josh Allen type. But more on the Houston defense. They've allowed just 161.9 passing yards per game, fewest in the NFL, 5.2 yards per attempt, lowest in the NFL, 62.1 quarterback rating, lowest in the NFL in its last 8 games. And they get to the quarterback at a rapid rate. Average time of pressure, 2.54 seconds, tied for third best in the league per NFL Pro. Average target separation allowed, 3.1 yards, tied for fourth best of any defense. By the way, Buffalo, 4th in the NFL in EPA per pass. Their offensive line has been great in pass protection, but again, going up against this defense that just pins the needle on everything. Mm-hmm. And Josh Allen's sack rate has increased from a season ago, but through 10 games, he's faced the lowest quarterback pressure of his career, 28.5% per NFL pro. So again, this defense will not be like what the Bills are used to. So all of that, by the way, last thing on this, Texans games have an average combined score, you know where I'm going with this, of 38.3 points a game. 5 of their last 10 games have stayed below 34 combined points. So talking about a horrific offense and a great defense. Oh, the Texans 16 total points off 4.6 yards per play. Was that last week? I'm looking. I don't know what that stat is right there. But anyway, the point being, you've got this. The total's 43.5.
Yeah, it's great. It's not a Bills total and it's not a Texans total, Gil.
I'm talking myself into an under here because for all the stuff that I've said. What's the way we're, obviously turnovers can crush you on short fields, but beyond that, what's the only way this could torpedo is if somehow the Buffalo, the Buffalo, I don't know, they establish the run in a way, but I mean, it doesn't, the Texans defense doesn't indicate by those numbers that they could establish it. But let's say that they do, even that requires, let's take it the opposite way, right? The Bills defense is their run defense. All right, so you're like, all right, well, Woody Marks, you just mentioned it. Woody Marks could exploit that. Yeah, but even that milks clock, right? So I don't know. I think I'm not even going to say I think. I'm about to bet an under on this. 43.5.
I don't hate it. You've also got Sean McDermott, 7-2 to the under on Thursday Night Football in his career. Actually, some heavy trends. How about Josh Allen, 8-0 straight up on Thursdays, 5-1 ATS on the road. I'm surprised the spread hasn't gone up a little bit more. But, man, it's strength on strength, weakness on weakness.
That's what it is.
I'm actually really excited for this game. I've gotten more excited. This is a huge game for the AFC playoff picture. Texans win. They're still in the mix. I mean, their season's on the line in this game.
Davis Mills and the Texans tonight as C.J. Stroud remains out after the concussion. Come back. Are we sure? Phil Bobbitt, a whole bunch more. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If you're serious about football betting, VSiN's got your weekend game plan. Fridays at 7 p.m., it's the Circa Friday Football Invitational. Saturday morning, VSiN's college football tailgate show at 9 a.m., breaking down matchups, props, and big-time bets. Later that night, join the football contest show as the sharpest betting minds give you their picks for Sunday's game. And Sunday at 9 a.m., lock in with Mitch and Paulie on VSiN's Pro Football Tailgate Show. Your final stop before kickoff. Check out the full lineup at VSiN.com and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
On Thursday's edition of Money Moves, we have Thursday Night Football. Bills on the road against the Texans. I love the Texans here. We'll tell you why they can stick around, maybe even pull off the upset against Josh Allen in Buffalo. Jeff Erickson checks in from RotoWire. We'll get his prop bets for Thursday Night Football and the week ahead in the National Football League. Plus, Circa contest numbers. And Stormy, the teaser titan, has her best teasers for the week. That's coming up Thursday. Money Moves, 11 to 1 Pacific, 2 to 4 Eastern here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Want to bet smarter? Start with Smarter Insights. Right now you can check out Greg Peterson's college basketball top plays, Bills, Texans, Thursday Night Football preview, Dave Tooley's takes on NFL Week 12. How about some Tooley's takes? Let's go. Later today you can check out Zach Cohen's NBA picks and props. He'll be on the show in a bit. Jonathan Davis's NHL top plays and Adam Burke's NFL Week 12 first touchdown score picks. Berkey doing some first touchdown stuff there on the website. Unlock every article with VSiN Pro. You can sign up for as little as $9.99 for your first month at vsin.com/subscribe. Greg Peterson with his college hoops picks on there. Yesterday, I forgot to mention this. Lou Finicaro texted during that segment, and he said, probing the dating life of Greg Hoops Peterson like Mike Wallace is absolutely classic radio. In truth, I was far more interested in his dating life than his college hoops picks, even though I think Greg would be upset that I would say that. But I was much more interested. The off and on? Walk me through that, Greg.
Oh, it's great.
That kind of thing.
It is great.
We get tweets at Beating the Book. This is from Tenalak from Australia. He said, the banter between you and Kelly over docs with live listener tweets is awesome. Unknown number was twisted. Currently halfway through Golden Greed, and it's twisted in a different way, much like my +4 bet on the Browns this weekend.
So glad this tweet came in. I did fire it up last night.
Oh, don't tell me anything.
I won't. I can't remember if
Don't say a word.
I can't remember if Matt said this on the air or off the air.
Don't say it.
But it's not going to ruin anything. Because he already told us. I'm just going to repeat exactly something Matt Brown told us. Within 20 minutes.
Stop it.
You're like, the characters involved in this.
Okay.
Are just incredible personalities. Like, incredible personalities.
Okay, I can't wait now.
And I should probably know more about the guy before I say this, but the guy who hid the treasure, Gil, he's kind of a villain, kind of...
Okay, stop talking!
Kind of my hero.
Can you stop talking?
Because we talked about this.
Stop talking.
How did we not know about this story?
I don't know about that. Adam Warner.
Story was everywhere.
I didn't know nothing about it. Way late on listening, but 100% on your analytics take from earlier in the week, Gil. There's so much context around it in the NFL, and the announcers just throw it to the fourth down bot. Yeah. I enjoyed that analytics discussion. Jason H11, call me crazy, but I'd rather have my upstate New York winter versus Vegas summer too damn hot. Yeah, we just go on vacation, though.
Yeah.
For at least part of it.
We're just hanging out in casinos.
That's right. P5 Legends. But you're right. The Vegas summers are ridiculous. P5 Legends.
Oh, but the pools. The pools are still great. I love the pool.
But man, once you get up to like 115, I don't care. Pools, schmools.
No, I love emerging from the pool, Gil, and you just instantly become dried. Because you just beat down by the sun and dry heat.
Nature will now dry me.
Who needs a towel?
P5 Legends. Gil, early but given Kentucky lost at Louisville last week, and then to Sparty, got crushed on Tuesday. Michigan State now 4-0, also beat Arkansas. You'd think the DraftKings futures for NCAA champ would be different. Kentucky 16-1, Louisville 16-1, Sparty 35-1. And then, Clone Bone, Kevin. Just wanted to say thanks for yesterday. A full afternoon cleaning/organizing the garage to Come On Ride the Train and similar. It was like stepping back in time, forgot all the great songs from that era. Oh, you're welcome. We had a good time talking about that as well. And then as to our discussion about the NBA moments ago. S_Slystone1. Don't forget Jamal Wilkes and Phil Smith, he says. Scuba Scott, my personal take on the increasing serious injuries in the NBA, one would look into the injured players' high school years and see if they were a one-trick pony only playing hoops and nothing else. Young muscles need to develop completely in the body. It's interesting. Brad Magnus, NBA scheduling is a joke. In the day of AI, couldn't that generate a schedule with not so many back-to-backs? A few years ago, I fell victim to load management and drove 6 hours to watch Giannis sit on the bench. I despise Golden State, but that's a screw job. Jason H11, I'd rather play in today's NBA versus against the bad boy Pistons. Load management, my tuchus, he says. I always enjoy a tweet with tuchus in it. Terrell Julian, is there a way to prorate pro athlete contracts to pay per game they play? I'm sure it wouldn't fly with a collective bargaining agreement. Might decrease load management. Yeah, not going to fly. You're right, Terrell. Ace de Cardano, so many lower body NBA injuries. Does anyone study the cheap plastic sneakers being worn these days? Are sneakers more cheap and plastic?
I didn't. This was news to me from Ace. I didn't know that there was a war over the quality of sneakers going on.
LFC title records. Imagine if I saved money all year to travel to Vegas to see my favorite sports betting personality in person, only to find out Kelly's on assignment after a long weekend. These professionals just aren't the same as they used to be. And Derek Wynn, what is the Bills' record playing indoors? Seems like they don't play that well. I like the under as well. And Jeff Cam, he's responding to something else. I'm not sure what he's responding to here. Oh, Jeff. Oh, yeah. Talking about Todd's group. He's saying, that is the problem with in-game betting, Jeff. Jeff is complaining sometimes he doesn't get the numbers, but that's the thing with in-game betting. It happens quickly. So, yeah, you have to have multiple outs And you got to be quick on those for sure. That is the downside of in-game betting for sure. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say the one I also bring up. I love talking in-game betting, but it is especially if you are in a shorter TV timeout or something like that, right? You and I have talked about this before. I mean, I've got 7 different apps on the phone, a million different outs for everything. But like live betting, you almost need to shrink that, which you never hear that advice.
Yeah.
But like when you're racing against the clock, to try to go and check 4 or 5 different books,
it's a fantastic point.
You're going to burn yourself because guess what? You're going to see a number at MGM. You're going to say, okay, that looks okay. Let me hop over to Caesars. Oh wait, Caesars has a worse number. Let me go back to MGM, and now by the time I've gotten back there, the number's worse.
Well, the first thing you learn, if let's say you have 5 outs or 10 outs. You learn that not all of them are going to provide the markets, all of the markets.
That too,
right?
Yeah.
That's the first thing. In-game team total, first half in-game, right? Not every out gives you these options. So you do, what you're saying is absolutely correct. You first filter it that way, and then you just don't even do the chase on the hopes that somehow it'll be elsewhere, and figure out who offers whatever at different times. Plus, there's in college basketball, right? There's also the games that are the marquee matchups, and then there's the extra games or big-time teams playing Bethesda, right, or something like that. Those aren't going to be at certain books. Only a specific number of books are going to have those. So you learn those things as you do this.
I also think I basically only spend my time on the ones like I mentioned MGM and Caesars for a reason because those are available to us here in Vegas. Boyd would count here as well. Of who's constantly got in-game lines up, right? We have other books here that you got to wait for commercial breaks. Sometimes you beat them to the punch. They haven't even posted a number yet. Those aren't worth your time if you're trying to live bet.
That's absolutely right. Real quick here, let's talk about a little NFC and AFC playoff picture, specifically the make-miss market, make playoffs miss markets, because you and I have talked about for the last few weeks. Do we know every team that's in the playoffs, or is there one spot available in some cases? Let's look at the NFC. The NFC is pretty straightforward. Obviously, 7 teams make the playoffs. What you will see here, Kelly, is that 8 teams are lined in minus money. So, by definition, one of these plus money bets to miss is going to cash. Right, because there's only 7 spots, and 8 have plus money. Now, in the NFC, it's less sexy. I think the obvious play is the least, bang for your buck of all of them. I think it's correctly priced. I think it's the Bears, right, to miss at plus 105. And the reason, I'm not just picking on Bears fans. I think Caleb's been awesome this year compared to last year. But you've got the second hardest schedule the rest of the year. You're playing the Eagles, the Packers twice, the Niners, the Lions, even the Steelers. I mean, what's that? That's 6 of your remaining 7 games right there. The only easy one's the Browns. So to me, it's obvious in the NFC that the bet there to miss is the Bears at plus 105. I don't think there is a bet anywhere else in the NFC.
Yeah, and I mean, geez, I agree. I agree with you. That's the only one I could possibly make. But the yes numbers on the Packers, 49ers, and Lions are boy are they aggressive.
Yeah, but who's taking their spot?
It's the Bears. I mean, it's the Bears.
Unless you believe the Panthers or Cowboys are somehow going to rise up.
So here's the other one I was going to bring up. I think this is another one. Panthers, you're not betting this market, right? You're betting them to win the division if you actually believe in the Panthers because they steal that 4 spot from the Bucs and win that. You can get plus 650 on them.
Yeah,
to win
and
the
by
division.
the way, Carolina has the 3rd hardest schedule left in the NFL. They've got to play the Rams, the Seahawks, the Niners, and the Bucs twice. But, the other counter argument is, hey, they get the Bucs twice. They have it on their own racket.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, like you said, going back to what we said 2 or 3 weeks ago, I would be shocked if we're not talking about Eagles, Rams, Bucs, Seahawks, Packers, 49ers, Lions.
Bingo. AFC's a little different. AFC, maybe you'll find one here. So the AFC also, if you look, 7 spots available, right, for the postseason. 8 teams, once again, 8 teams are lined in minus money to make. So by definition, one of these plus money misses has to hit. The question is, in the AFC, it's a little more murky. Do you think that's the Chiefs at plus 150 to miss? Or do you think it's the Jags at plus 170 to miss? Or the Chargers at plus 130 to miss? Steelers, Ravens, that's its own discussion, I guess, also, right? Because you may think that, because right now the Ravens are plus 260 to miss, and they're a game behind the Steelers.
Right.
So that's its own. So you have the Ravens-Steelers discussion, which is its own little vacuum discussion. And then it's the other one, which is, okay, whoever makes it between the Ravens and Steelers, that's irrelevant. Then do you think one of these other teams still has to miss, right, that I just mentioned, Chargers, Jaguars, or Chiefs, as the standings look now? And who might that be? I think it's probably the Chargers at plus 130, which is how it's priced. Mm-hmm. They have the 8th hardest remaining schedule in the NFL. They've got to play the Chiefs. They got to play the Broncos. They got to play the Eagles. They do have, Texans right in the middle. They do have some games otherwise, though. The Raiders, the Cowboys, some people think that's a hard game. I think it's the Chargers who miss at plus 130. But the Ravens at plus 260, if you don't think they're playing well and it's not fait accompli that they win that division, that's still an interesting bet.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is tight.
So, anyway, food for thought. Make-miss playoffs and the National Football League. F1 betting with Phil Bobbitt next.
Got a good thing coming. Just wait and see. It's a good.
Sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup, then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Get ready, Las Vegas. Neon City Music Festival is here. Free all-ages celebration of music, food, and art. Experience electrifying performances from Good Charlotte, Dead Mouse, Breaking Benjamin, Two Friends, Fits of the Tantrums, De La Soul, Hoopa Stank. What's your group that you like to talk about? What's your artist that you always like to say?
Diva Bleach.
Diva Bleach.
Special shout out.
This festival without fences will bring you mouth-watering food, stunning 3D graphics on the Viva Vision screen, and jaw-dropping performances. All free. Fun starts tomorrow, runs through Sunday. An experience you won't want to miss. Book your stay downtown at Circa Las Vegas. Details at neoncityfestival.com. That's neoncityfestival.com. So you got your Neon City Festival downtown where we are right now. And then on the Strip, the Las Vegas Grand Prix year number 3. Oh, boy. F1 in town. And as is our tradition here on a yearly basis, we bring in Phil Bobbitt to discuss the race with us. He's a writer and analyst for CBS Sportsline. You can follow him on Twitter at SpeedwaySteve2. That's the number 2. He joins us now courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. How you doing, Phil? Good to see you, man.
Good morning, fellas. Really excited. I love coming on here. Thank you for having me. And Gil, let's win you some roof access money this weekend.
Bro, yeah, God forbid these people, and by these people, I mean these F1 people, don't come into town and monetize every square inch, every vantage point you could possibly have, including the roof of my building, which I'm allowed to go to 364 nights of the year, but not this night. No, they charge me. How's that legal? How?
What's the update on the skywalks, by the way? Can you explain that one again?
The skywalks, which the first year they meshed as much as they could, and like you could like squint your eyes and see now blackout blinds. You can't see a thing now. Your precious race. That doesn't give us still we can make some money on it. So
that's right.
Let me, Phil, that rant aside. Let me just ask you this before we get into your picks. I know these things are done on 10-year contracts. This is year 3. I have heard some buzz that what happens is, not buzz, but I've been led to believe that these F1 contracts with cities, they are always 10 years, but sometimes after 3 years, it goes away. Does this feel like that? The dog says yes.
Yes. The dog agrees. The dog agrees. There has been some rumblings. I'm not sure what the F1 head brass thinks, but I know that the on-track product has actually been really, really good. Last year, there was the most on-track overtakes on the F1 calendar. So it was one of the most exciting races of the year. It's a good product. I hope it stays. I'm sorry for your commute, but I like the race.
It is. I will say this, man. It is beautiful on TV. It is such a beautiful postcard for the city. That's for sure. All right, let's start with the qualifying. When is that? Is that Friday night is the qualifying, and then Saturday night is the race, correct?
Correct. So Friday night, there's a threat of rain, which is kind of an odd thing to say for Las Vegas. It's also the coldest race on the F1 calendar, which is another weird thing to think about being in the desert. So with the rain involved, we are going to just throw a dart at our guy, Charles Leclerc. We call him Chuck. It's 14-1 at Caesars. We're also going to play his top 3 plus 250 at Caesars. Ferrari's had kind of a down year to their standards, but Chuck is really, really incredible at one-lap pace. So we think that if it's dry, he can light it up, be in the mix for a pole, and maybe cash us a 14-1. The top 3 at plus 250 is certainly live, but our favorite plays are in the matchups for this race.
And let's get to the race itself and those matchups on Saturday night. By the way, there it is again for the for qualifying play tomorrow night, Friday night. Charles Leclerc, Kelly, pole winner, 14-1, top 3 plus 250, or Chuck Leclerc for you and
Chucky Leclerc.
Chucky Leclerc, right? Okay.
For the Americans out there.
For the Americans listening to the broadcast. All right, to the race itself. You want to start with the matchups? Let's start there.
Yeah, let's start with some matchups. So the first two, we're fading a guy named Franco Colapinto. This is a very Steve Fezzik-like move where you don't overthink it. You attack a weak link until someone makes you stop, even if it's expensive. But the truth is these matchups really shouldn't exist. Colapinto's dead last in average qualifying position this year and average finishing position. He's technically 21st in both of those categories, which is impressive because there's only 20 drivers on the grid at any time. So he's statistically worse than you and I. He scored 0 points this year. His tub is slow. He's slow. The only fast thing about him right now is how fast he drops down the running order. So we get Oliver Behrman over Franco Colapinto. We have him predicted to finish 6.1 positions ahead. Oliver Behrman, he's actually scored in 8 races this year, including the last 4. We're also going to take Liam Lawson over Franco Colapinto. We have him 4 positions ahead. He scored in 6 races this year. Gil, I would say this is kind of like the F1 equivalent of picking on the Titans in NFL Survivor. It's not glamorous, but it cashes.
Thank you for putting it in language we all understand. And by the way, no need to bring Fezzik into it. No need to suck up to Steve Fezzik.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm just waiting on my next text winner from him.
Next, speaking of Charles Leclerc from before, if I may do the hybrid pronunciation, you like him in a couple matchups as well.
We do. And actually, the prices on these made me do a bit of a double take. Our favorite one is Chuck over Kimi Antonelli. The Ferrari fans, they've spent the last 2 weeks holding candlelight vigils because they had a double DNF in Brazil. They're winless. Some are saying hopeless. Lewis Hamilton doesn't even have a podium this year, which is a sentence I didn't expect to say on television without being tackled by a Ferrari lawyer. But Leclerc, he's been fine. He's been pretty good. Kimi, he's coming off a podium in Brazil, and I guess that one result sent his power rating into outer space because the books are pricing him like he discovered fire. So, but the cold temps in Vegas, the long straights, I think you need a little bit of experience here as well. Ferrari can heat up their tires. Mercedes can too. But Chuck is better everywhere that it matters. The season head-to-head is 13-8. Chuck is better at the average starting position, 5.1 to 8.1. His average finish is 5.0 to 8.29. Chuck also finished 2nd and 4th here in his 2 races. Kimi, this is his first time at Vegas, and he's not even old enough to stand on the casino carpet without getting escorted back to his parents. So we'll take Leclerc plus 155 in a matchup over Kimi Antonelli. We also like him over Oscar Piastri plus 135. Piastri is one of the championship favorites, but the McLaren just doesn't get along with this circuit. It chewed their tires off last year. Lando Norris, his teammate, crashed. Oscar finished 40 seconds off the pace. So we're hoping that Chuck can dial up his Vegas prowess and cash these 2 for us at a nice number.
All right, you're also picking on, if I may use that technical phrase, Alex Albon and Lando Norris. You're fading both of those guys in a pair of matchups.
Yeah, Lando is the championship leader. He's the championship favorite. We're going to take Max Verstappen over Lando at minus 120. Max got a new power unit installed in his car not last weekend, the weekend prior, the last race. Started in the pit lane and finished on the podium. So Max has a new power unit to attack the rest of the F1 calendar. That's a bit of an advantage. And like I said, the McLarens, they just struggled here last year. The car doesn't get along with the circuit. They have a tough time firing up their tires. So we like Max for sure. And Albon's just, it's sort of one of those things where our algorithm likes it and it likes the price. We have Albon finishing 13.4. We're taking Esteban Ocon over him at plus 180, and Isaac Hadjar, he's predicted at 10.7. So we like that nearly even money price at DraftKings as well.
Okay, and then there's one other one there in the middle, Hadjar over Liam Lawson. Did you mention that one?
I didn't mention that one. I don't have a huge write-up for it, but again, that's just our algorithm has pointed us in that direction. We have another 4-position advantage in our favor. So the minus 190 is expensive, but I think it cashes. This is racing. You don't get spreads. So, sometimes you have to play an expensive money line. We like this one as well. But if we want to talk real price, real value,
yes,
we can talk about George Russell to win this race.
Let's do it. George Russell,
yeah, let's do it.
Multiple ways.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yep. When it's cold, the Mercedes is really, really good. And I know we're fading Kimi Antonelli, but he's young. George Russell is sort of the ball carrier for this organization. He's fantastic. When it's 42 degrees out, he turns into the second coming of Ayrton Senna. So the operating window on the Mercedes is somewhere between Antarctica and the North Pole. So this is perfect. And a special numbers game investigation revealed George Russell won this race last year.
Yes,
so
it's true.
He can get it done. He can get it done. He's got 2 wins this year. He's really, really good at tire management. He's also one of the best starters on the grid. So getting into turn 1, that's half the battle at Vegas. George is our number 1 ranked guy in our power rating, plus 450 to get it done. We like that. The top three at minus 170 is good too, so we can get paid even if we're just a little bit wrong.
Okay, so outright winner George Russell plus 450, also top 3 on George Russell at minus 170, and then one top 10 bet to close it out?
Correct. We're going to go with Pierre Gasly, 5-1 at DraftKings. We predict his finish at 10.9, so that's right on the edge. So at 5-1, that's huge value for us. This has actually moved a little bit. It was, I think it was plus 650 when I went to bed last night, so I had to change it. But 5-1 is still a great price in the marketplace. It's about plus 330 elsewhere. So hop on it over at DraftKings.
Phil, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Great seeing you again. Let's make this a tradition unlike any other. Thank you.
I had such a good time, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Phil Bobbitt at Speedway Steve 2 from CBS Sportsline. College football next with Tim Murray.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Join the guru, John Hansen, at the intersection of prop betting and fantasy sports on Prop Points, only on VSiN.
Lesson number 1, Patty's back. I still believe that Caleb Williams is not any good. And, other than Rome Odunze, I don't trust anyone that can't run the ball.
John and his guests will help you find the connection between the two and give you his expert advice on how to capitalize when a number is too good to pass up. Prop Points, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back on the numbers game, live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Always good to have Phil Bobbitt join us, talk some F1 with us. Hey, inconvenience, maybe we can make some money on it, though.
That's right.
That's right. We'll show them. Send them a message. We get tweets of beating the book.
Some Miami Heat last night, too.
Always appreciated. Matthew Mayberry. How do people sign up with Todd? Just direct message him with your phone number on Twitter? Yeah, go to his Twitter, and then I think he has an explanation on there. You have to DM him. He has it's a whole group now. Yes, but go to his direct messaging on Twitter. Son of Ghost, what show are you talking about? I need to find it. Thanks. I don't know what he's talking about. You have to be more specific.
The Golden Greed one or something?
Oh,
I don't even know the name of it. Something like
Golden
that.
Greed, yes. Chris Heath, I'd love to see De La Soul for free. Didn't one of them pass away? Yeah, Trugoy died, I believe, a few years back. J-Rod, after Todd got blasted right in the keister last night in basketball, hoping we get an all-timer Megapod today. Oh, yeah. Rufus Peabody, Megapod guest today as well. Todd is going to be in an ornery mood. And then Fake Follower. I like George Russell in the F1 race, too. I bet him last year to win Belgian. I guess top Belgian at 45-1. He won, but got disqualified. I was paid because it was after the trophies were handed out. Always a threat to win. Love the show. Thank you. Thank you, Fake Follower. Thank you, Phil Bobbitt, once again. Let's talk some college football. He's the host of VSiN Primetime, the host of the College Football Tailgate Show, the host of the College Football Podcast. Courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line, it's Tim Murray, everybody. You can follow him on Twitter at 1. That's the number 1, Tim Murray. Joins us now. Look, he's got his wave going on as well. Yeah.
Well, that's a popular introduction here recently. Matt did that yesterday, too. Yeah, the wave. The parade wave,
the
too.
Queen wave, I believe it is. What's the hat, Tim? What is that? What do you got going on there?
These are the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. Shout out to the AAA affiliate of the Yankees up in the Poconos of Pennsylvania, Gil.
Yeah, there you go. Our neck of the woods. Okay, let me ask you a question. You're a Notre Dame fan. I mentioned I would ask you this earlier on the show. We hear, from the Miami's viewpoint, they feel scred, right? They don't like their position. Everybody's saying, hey, look, all these other teams that are have equal number of losses and one head-to-heads are ranked higher than the team they beat, but not in the case of the Hurricanes with Notre Dame, vis-a-vis Notre Dame. Obviously, Miami's 2 losses are far worse than that of Notre Dame, but it just so happens that Miami beat Notre Dame first game of the year. Why is Miami ranked below Notre Dame? From the Notre Dame perspective, which is your perspective, sir. Mm-hmm. Any shame in this, or are you okay with it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a complicated situation. I think Notre Dame right now is a better football team than Miami, but they did play a game, and I understand. I know our buddy, the Bear, Chris Felica, is pretty fired up about this. And look, I get it, right? They played a game. Granted, it was in August, but they played a game, and Miami won the game by 3. It wasn't a dominant performance by any stretch of the imagination, but they won the football game, and it does have to matter something. And that's why I'll say this, Gil, not to skirt the question, but the bracket hasn't been released yet, boys and girls. Like, right. This thing still has time to play itself out. And, as a Notre Dame fan, there is a doomsday scenario looming where, as of right now, the committee has said Notre Dame and Miami aren't on the same page to be compared to each other. If we get to the end of the season and Miami's 10-2, and let's say they play well this weekend against Virginia Tech, and then they go to Pitt and they win comfortably, now you've got more common data points and you've got the head-to-head. So I really believe at the end of the day, let's say everyone wins out from here. Oklahoma doesn't trip up. Let's say Alabama wins the SEC. They'll jump over Notre Dame if they were to get a win over Texas A&M. I have a worry that if Notre Dame and Miami are next to each other, that at the last minute, they'll pop Miami over. And I'll say this, the reason Miami was 18th in the initial rankings a couple weeks ago was they had played poorly. Their 2 losses were to unranked teams in SMU and Louisville. But now, as they continue to play well, last week, I could argue, was their best performance of the year in their dominant win over NC State. And you've seen them slowly rise here. Look, I opened the podcast saying this, and I'll stand by it. I'm just mad that Miami's going to allow another ACC team in this field. No other ACC team should be in this field. The ACC is bad. Georgia Tech should have lost to Boston College last week. They gave up 500-plus yards to a horrific Boston College team. Georgia Tech should have lost to Wake Forest. Virginia, I want them nowhere near this playoff. But because Miami did what Miami always does, which is find ways to lose to inferior teams, now we're having this discussion.
There it is.
Look, yeah. I don't think I don't think Notre Dame and Miami should be left out because they're two of the best 12 teams in college football. And I'm frustrated because if Miami just handled their business, they'd win the ACC and we wouldn't have to worry about Georgia Tech or Virginia getting in this field.
Ugh. Yeah, it really is. If you're not trying to win the group of 5 berth or the ACC berth, you're really talking about a top 10 that you're trying to get into, which brings me to the one game I want to talk about besides your picks, which is USC and Oregon, which is a de facto elimination game. It feels like this week. Oregon currently on the inside looking out, USC on the outside looking in. You gotta get inside the top 10 if you're one of those two teams. How do you view this ball game with the Ducks favored by 9.5?
Well, and real quickly, if you are a Miami fan or a Notre Dame fan, you're fighting on this weekend. You desperately want USC to win this game because it pops Oregon out. To your point, Gil. I do think Oregon, and you're looking at a 9.5 point spread. I have not bet this game personally, but I do think Oregon's the right side. I think they're the superior team. And for whatever reason, Lincoln Riley's team on the road since he's gotten there have just underachieved. If you look at what he's been on the road, 6-13 ATS, Lincoln Riley and USC since he's gotten to town. Now, it is worth noting they're 3-1 against the spread as a road underdog. Now, they've never won a game as a road underdog under Lincoln Riley. But look, I like this USC team from an offensive standpoint. They've had their injuries at the running back position. I was impressed by what I saw last week, being down 2 touchdowns to Iowa in the rain, kind of playing Iowa's game and to come back and to win that game. And I know they got a fortunate break on a late pass down the field that the Iowa receiver was just out of bounds. Look, I think it's fair to ask the question, what's Oregon's best win to date? It's probably the road win at Iowa. That's an impressive performance in the rain to kind of play their game. They lost, of course, to Indiana. I think the Penn State game obviously didn't age well, but I still give them credit for a win on the road at Penn State when they still seem to be, motivated to play at that point in the season. So, yeah, I think this is a de facto elimination game. I think the point spread is kind of telling you a story a little bit of why this number is so high. So, haven't played it. Would probably lean Oregon here, but as a Notre Dame fan or as someone who doesn't want crazy controversy at the end, I want USC to win this game. And going back real quickly, Gil, to Notre Dame, this is their best win, right? So you could also argue that Miami fans should be cheering for Oregon because this devalues Notre Dame's best win and would drop them down the rankings a little bit too. So, that's the beauty of the playoff. If you like all of this controversial stuff, which I know a lot of our listeners probably don't because they prefer give us picks and let's get some winners. So I do think Oregon wins this game. I will be cheering as much as it pains me for USC, though, to pull the outright upset.
Well, it matters if they're trying to bet outrights, right? It matters if they get in the playoff or not, obviously. So there is a betting twist to the rankings discussion itself. What about your picks? What are your favorites of the weekend?
Yeah, we'll start tomorrow night. My boys, the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, are in town.
Your boys from now on now. Yeah, it's your team.
It's funny to think, guys. Think about the game on Friday and the game on Sunday at Allegiant Stadium. The total is different by, I think, 4 touchdowns. Hawaii and UNLV is 64 and a half. And good. Cleveland, Las Vegas is 38 and a half. So you've got a little bit of a different game that you'll see on Friday night as opposed to a Sunday afternoon here in town. I love this matchup. Look, I think UNLV has been very fortunate. You look back at their game a week ago, Utah State missed multiple field goals to win that game. Hawaii coming off a bye. This game means a lot for the Mountain West, guys. So I'm excited to go watch this game in person. Micah Alejado went to Bishop Gorman here in Las Vegas. So there's some ties to this game. I think Hawaii in the end has like 6 or 7 guys on their roster who went to high school here in Las Vegas. But I love the way their offense is playing right now. And I think this should be a high-scoring game. I still would lean over, even though we saw a little bit of under money come into the market today. But I'll take the 3 with Hawaii here in this spot. Couple other games that jump out to me. Staying in the Mountain West, I'll take Utah State plus the 3 against Fresno State. You've got the bowl eligibility on the line there. Fresno State, I think they're a bit lofted up, maybe off of some of their performances. Not a great quarterback situation. And if you want to go a little bit bigger, I'm curious how Oklahoma, guys, responds after last week's win. That was a huge win for the Sooners, but I'm going to take the points here with Missouri. I know we've got questions about who's going to play quarterback for Mizzou, but anything north of a touchdown in a very low-scoring game, I think is worth a look here. Oklahoma, all they got to do, guys, is win out. They're in the college football playoff. Now that pressure's going to sink in. You're coming off an emotional road win at Alabama, early kick time down there in Norman. I'll take the points with Missouri, and I'll see if Ahmad Hardy can I don't know if he could replicate 300 yards rushing like he did last week, but give me 100, and I'm feeling okay about Mizzou in this spot as a touchdown dog.
College football betting podcast out today, yes?